Hello everyone, I'm Kristen Durrell. Welcome to the Littlescribe Author Masterclass. Wow, I can't believe we're here again, it's exciting. A quick note before we get started, this is live and it is being recorded. So teachers, if there are any students without media permissions, now is the time to move them out of view of the camera. Now, we would love you to change your Zoom profile to your school name and get ready to hold up signs to the camera with the name of your school and the Aboriginal land you're on. We're going to zoom around in just a moment. We're all joining from different parts of the country. Here in the studio, we are on the lands of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and I'd like to pay my respects to elders past and present and acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as our first storytellers. All right, it's time to zoom around the country. Little scribers, let's get those boards up to the camera, hold them up so we can see where you're joining us from today. Look, we have, and don't forget to change your names in the Zoom so we can see where you're from as well. Hi everybody, I can't quite see what school you're from. Oh, hold it nice and still up to the camera for us. Hi. Oh, there we are, South Geelong. Hey guys, nice to see you all. One Echidna, Gamal, oh, I'm not going to say
Gunnedah
that wrong.
South Public School.
Yes, Gunnedah South Public School.
Gamilaroi country.
That's it. Thank you, James.
Kupanook.
Oh, hi, Kupanook. Nice to see you all. I can see you're ready with your pencils and paper, right? Getting ready to write, do some great scribing today. Hey, everyone. Hi. Nice to meet you all.
Is it Long Warren Public School?
Can't read it down there on the side. Hi, everyone. Oh, we've got...
Hello. It's Ms. Nolan's class.
Hi, Miss Nolan. Nice to see you all. Oh, and year one, Kingswood Park. Nice to see you all. Give us a wave, Kingswood Park.
I can see some dabs there.
Hi. And, oh, hold up your board. William, oh, can't quite see you.
William Baildon Public School.
Sawtell, I think. Hi, guys. And Mernda Hills, year one. Nice to see you all.
Hey, look, they've got a Connect 4.
Oh, they do too.
The kids on the floor. That's great.
Well, we've got some amazing schools joining us today, and we're super excited to have you all here. Hello, everyone. I am Kristen Durrell, and I am your host for today's Littlescribe Author Masterclass. I'm delighted to introduce the very first author for today, Lesley Gibbes. She is an award-winning and internationally published children's author, a primary teacher and a presenter at the Australian Writers' Centre for any aspiring writers out there. Now, you may know some of her 17 books. Is that right, Lesley? Yes. 17? Wow. Such as, you may have heard of Searching for Cicadas, Fluke, I love Fluke, that's one of my favourites. The chapter book series Fizz for anyone who likes puppy dogs, particularly. Yes. And the CBCA honour book Scary Night. Good. Welcome, Lesley. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here today.
Yeah. Well, we've also very excited to have our wonderful resident illustrator in the studio who's already hard at work scribbling away. He'll be with us for every workshop of the festival. I'm sure many of you already know the phenomenal James Foley.
How's it going, everybody? Wonderful to be here. Hello to everyone in Littlescribe land. I'm very excited to be drawing and writing with you today.
Amazing. Well, in today's workshop, I'm going to dive straight into it. We're going to look at what makes a scary setting. Ooh, it's very exciting. So we're going to start by showing you a picture. We're diving straight in, right? Ready to go?
The book.
Okay.
I can't wait.
So we're going to bring up a scary picture. I hope you're all ready for this. So could we have a look at this wonderful graveyard illustration from Lesley's fantastic book, Scary Night. So we're going to get that up. So, and we're going to just have a look, Lesley, and I'll get you to start talking about what makes a scary image. What makes it
I love
like
this image.
This one?
You know that it's a graveyard scene, which is always scary. Now, I didn't mention a graveyard in the book, so the illustrator came up with this all on his own. And I know that Stephen Michael King loves the murky colours, so greens and the murky blues in there, and the characters who look so frightened, their eyes are so wide, There are also lots of shadows in the picture as well. If you look really carefully, you'll see some of the shadows sort of morph into a couple of ghosts. And there's a big rat with sharp teeth and claws, and the whole thing just looks so scary. It's one of my favourite illustrations in the book.
Look, it's very scary. There's no question about that. We're all going to draw our own scary setting in just a moment. But Lesley, perhaps before the kids get drawing, you might share with us where you get some of your scary inspiration from.
Oh, well, for Scary Night, it came from a memory when I was just 4 years old. And it was set in my backyard. And my backyard is this big steep hill. So I'd go on this big long journey, this 4-year-old me, long journey up this hill to the very top of the hill where there was native Australian bush. And this native Australian bush made a little bush tunnel. And all the trees had grown over, and it was a leafy dark tunnel. And I'd stand in front of the tunnel, I'd take a deep breath, and I'd say, Lesley, you're as brave as brave. And in I'd go into this tunnel and around, and I'd come out the other end and go, woo, I made it. Oh, well done. But on this day of this scary memory, when I stepped into my tunnel, there was an animal inside it. And it was a scary animal. It was an Australian native animal, and it did this. It put a frill out around its neck, and it hissed at me like that. Can you guess what it was?
A rat.
It was a frill-neck lizard, and I was scared. I screamed, ah! And I turned around and I started running. And you know what it did? It stood up on its back legs and it started running after me with its frill out going at me. And I'm running and I'm running and I'm running. I'm looking over my shoulder. It's still coming for me. Only 4. It was up to here. It was like a dinosaur. I kept running. I could see the kitchen door. I opened it and I got inside and I closed it. I went, oh, I made it. Now, the frill-neck lizard just went once more and toddled off into the bush. But my heart was thumping, and it was such a scare. But it wasn't a bad scare. It was a fun and thrilling scare.
Wow.
And then, you know, to write Scary Night, I had to change things in that story. So, to make it even scarier, instead of daylight, I made it the dead of the night. And instead of a journey up my hill, I changed that to going through a wood, over a creek, past a cave, and up a mountainside. And then instead of a 4-year-old me, no, it was hare with a hat, cat with a cake, pig with a parcel. And they weren't going to get scared by a frill-neck lizard.
No.
Oh no, crocodiles and bears.
Wow, that's
yeah,
so
yeah.
exciting.
So that's how I came up with Scary Night. That was what it was all about.
Should we get them drawing?
Oh yes.
All right. So now you're going to draw a scary scene. Now you could use something inspired by the story Lesley just told, by that wonderful illustration of the graveyard we saw. James is going to have a go at drawing a scary scene as well. So he's going to show us some pictures that he's, oh look, there's Lesley
me.
running from the lizard.
For my life.
I want you all now, pencils to paper. We're going to be nice and quiet so you can get some drawing. You're going to have a minute or so to get a drawing down. Remember, this is the first attempt at the drawing. You just got to get going drawing. So everybody start drawing now, and then at the end, we're going to get your teachers to share some of the ideas in the chat if we can, and also hold up some of your pictures at the end. But now is the time to be drawing. It's very exciting. I wonder what they're going to come up with.
Oh,
I think we might
brilliant.
see a few lizards.
Maybe. Snakes.
And maybe some
Crocodiles, bears.
or giant cats.
Oh yeah.
A cat that turns into a leopard.
They kept me up last night. Cats carrying on last night. They did.
It's interesting when you hear a sound, but perhaps don't know.
I know, your imagination
what it
goes,
is.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it super scary. In fact, that's why I think Scary Night was extra scary, because I kept a lot of things secret.
Yes.
Where were they going in the dead of the night? Tiptoe creeping in the pale moonlight.
Oh, it's very
A mystery. So that mystery kept the suspense and made it even more interesting.
We're going to do more with that in
frightening.
just a moment. So you've got about 10 seconds left on your pictures. We're really excited. If you've got any ready, you can hold up to the camera. We're going to have a very quick, this will be a very quick zoom around, just have a very quick look at what you've started to create, because we've got some writing to do. Okay, pencils down. Let's have a look at some of the things you've created. If we can zoom around the country, if we've got that, able to do that.
Oh, I
Get
can't
those
wait.
drawings ready. I know it's exciting. It's early in the morning
I'm
to get
getting
your brain
goosebumps
going.
already.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm going to see if we can have a zoom. Oh, there we are. Oh, there they are, holding them
I
up.
can see everyone.
Oh,
Or somebody running.
they look like
from
snakes.
snakes.
I think they're snakes.
Yes, yeah.
Definitely running from snakes.
Ghost graveyard scene.
Oh, I like the ghost. I like the bottom one. It looks a bit like the ghost in Pac-Man, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Pac-Man scares me. Oh, my gosh.
A cyclops, one eye, lots of teeth.
I love, what a great monster. Monsters can be really scary. I love that
Absolutely.
some of these scary things are from imagination.
Another graveyard with the crosses there.
Amazing.
Yes.
Let's have a look at one more maybe.
Ooh.
Oh, that looks a bit, is that a lion maybe?
be.
Looks like a lion.
Well, it might just be me with my... Oh, look, there's a dinosaur.
Look at those teeth.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow, that's fantastic. All
Oh,
right.
another one.
We've had some amazing drawings. That's got your brains thinking, I can tell. But Lesley, now we want to think about some words.
Oh,
So
okay.
not just pictures. We want to think about some words. What sort of words could we use to build the idea of a scary image? You mentioned suspense before.
Yes, yes. Well, I think colours in particular, I want to see murky and things that you can feel dank and dark. I like those words. And things like scream or rustle. As you said, things you can't see, things that rustle in the night. You can't see them. It might just be a little mouse, but your imagination says it's a bear, it's a snake, it's something terrifying. So I like those sorts of words. Echoes, that's another great word, having echoes in the dark. Oh, I wonder what people are going to come up with.
I don't know. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to create a word bank. So we're not asking you to write sentences yet, but we're going to come up with words. And Lesley was giving you some ideas of thinking about suspense or colour or sounds. So lots of great words. And teachers, you can put those words into the chat if you like. We can have a look at those. Or you could write some on whiteboards and that the kids have told you, and you could hold them up to the screen for us to have a look. And kids, if you want to, you could write some if you're able yourself as well. Maybe some words could be inspired by James's drawing there too. So you've got a minute or so to come up with a bit of a word bank of scary words. Let's go. Get some writing down. We look forward to seeing what you're creating. I think James's picture is looking a little bit scary.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's about a man who realises he's starting to go bald.
Oh, that's terrifying.
It's very, very
I know
scary.
that from my husband. Yeah.
Yeah, is this art imitating
Autobiographical, perhaps.
imitating life? Yeah. So there's lots of things to think about with scary words. I do love the idea of building suspense by not knowing what's going on.
Yes,
I think
yes,
that's really
yes.
good. Like, what can you see?
You know, and what's behind something? You know, what is it that's behind there? What those eyes in the darkness? What do they belong to?
Yep.
You know, oh goodness, could be one of those dinosaurs I saw
And
in
words
the drawings.
like,
yeah,
I don't know, I like words like creak.
Yes.
Creak's a good one.
yeah, crunch,
where you-
splat. Yeah.
I can't see the chat. James, are you able to have a look at some of the wonderful words coming? Oh, you've got
I
some
will.
there.
I'll bring up the
Drip?
chat.
Yeah, we'll have a look.
Oh, we've got some great ones. Terrifying,
amazing.
shock,
Keep the words coming, and we'll share a few more that are coming through the chat.
Skeletons.
Skeletons, well, they're
Skeletons,
scary,
I like
aren't
that.
they?
Yes.
What else? I like creak. Creak's still one of my favourites because creak implies so many things. But I like what you were saying about the things you can't see, and I think we're going to build on that in just a moment. Got some other words, James? What else have you seen there?
Someone's got. There's a lot of sound effects coming through, which is great. A lot of onomatopoeias.
Yeah,
We've
I
got
love
boom,
onomatopoeias.
roar,
Yes.
bang. And then even like some little sentences too. I hear something big coming.
Big. Oh. See, and then you don't know what it is. That's brilliant. And maybe to take that sentence even further, which we're going to do in a moment, you could say, I see something big coming, or you could talk about the sounds the thing makes that's really big. It might be something really heavy. I could go back to my creaking again.
Yes.
Yep. They're amazing. What a great word bank we've got there. Can we have a look at James's word bank that he's been building? Thanks to all of your amazing words as well as those we're coming up with. So we want that word bank because we're going to build on that now to write a sentence or sentences. And again, teachers, you can help the kids do this. So we can build on that. We can use this word bank that James has created there and the words you've got as well. Lesley, how could we get kids going with this? I think you've come up with a few sentence starters that might get them, giving them some ideas for sentences. And teachers, again, you can write these sentences down and put them in the chat, and we'll have a look at them from there as well.
Well, you know, when I'm writing sentences, I like to look at my 5 senses. So I use that. So I might look at, you know, what can I see? What can I hear? What can I smell? What can I taste? And what can I feel? So, I mean, feel is a great one for when you're really scared. So it might be goosebumps on your skin, chills down your spine, things like that. You know, what can you see? And we've done a lot of what you can see.
Yes.
And we've talked about it's not what you can't see. That makes things really scary. But maybe you can see blood. Maybe you can see eyes in the darkness. What about smell? That's hard, isn't it? So
Smells?
sour smells, mould and dank, that sort of thing is really cool.
Horrible, icky smells.
Taste is hard, so a sour taste, perhaps.
Yeah. I think it'd be a horror story if you had to eat something really disgusting. Could you imagine that? Oh, that'd be a scary story.
Raw
Like
egg
tuna
gives me the
mornay.
ick. I hate raw egg.
raw
That's
egg.
the ickiest thing in the world for me, raw egg. Oh,
Slimy,
yeah. Slime,
ooey, gooey.
yeah,
Yep.
horrible stuff like that. What else is there? Oh, we haven't done sound. So I like the word rustle because I always think you're wondering what's rustling in the leaves. The screams. I mean, Scary Night, we have the big raw sounds in there, and I just love having those sounds. And I know a lot of the children have put a lot of onomatopoeia words down there that they're going to be able to use. So that's fantastic. But yeah, use those 5 senses. I can see, I can hear, I can smell. I can taste.
What I tasted.
Yeah.
All right, have a go at that. And I'm sure some of you have already started that already. And remember, teachers, you can pop them into the chat for us so we can hear what the read what the kids are coming up with, because I can imagine that their imaginations are going wild now with all these amazing ideas about what you can see, what you can smell, what you can hear but you can't see, which, as we were saying, can be really, really scary. So you've got a minute or so to write some, these are just the start, basic sentences. What can you see? What can you hear? What can you smell in your scary, scary setting? Because remember, we want you to scare us. I don't think we want to sleep tonight. We want to be very, very scared. And in a moment, we're going to turn this into a scary story, which is very exciting. I bet there's some great ideas coming through, Lesley.
And, you know, you can have other starters like, you know, behind the something or other. What could it be? Behind the tree. And then, you know, talk about what's behind that tree. Or, you know, my skin started to tingle with goosebumps.
Wow.
And, you know, it was too dark to see anything, but I could hear.
Wow.
And then you might, you know, those are great sentence starters, and you could use those. I love that.
James, do we have any coming through in the chat yet you can see there?
We do. We've had some good sounds so far. Rustling in the rugged bushes, crunching, screams, creaking floors, whispers. But then some things we could see too. A flash of light sprinting across the garden.
Oh
Is
my
that
gosh.
a ghost? That was from some kindergartners. Oh,
That's
that sounds great.
amazing. I love that one.
Love it. And the smell of rotten eggs, the smell of blood, the smell of fire, smoke filling the room. That was kindergartners again. There's some amazing kindergartners out
What
there.
an amazing
Yeah.
imagination. Well, it sounds like we're starting to build on those sentences already. So, Lesley, I think let's get them turning this into an actual scary story. So they have their picture that we've drawn, which they were very scary, I got to tell you. We've got a wonderful word bank of words. We've started playing with some sentences. So what reminders, perhaps, we want to take those sentences and you've started sharing a bit there already about behind the, what other tips or ideas could you give them to take those sentences to another level to perhaps start to build that scary story now?
Well, would you like to have a look at some rhyme?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Because in Scary Night, I elevate my story by putting in rhyming words. And I've got one here from Scary Night that I want to talk about because it's got rhythm. And for me, rhythm is a storyteller. So at the beginning of Scary Night, the characters, hare with a hat, cat with a cake, and pig with a parcel, are walking through the woods. And I've got this rhythm, a marching rhythm. And I'm going to clap it first so you can hear the beat. Over hill and over dale, through the woods and down the trail. Now, if everyone wants to do it with me, we can do some
That's a
marching.
great idea.
Because you can march that. I'll do it again.
Well, get
as
your
a
hands
march.
ready,
Yep,
everyone. We're
here we
going to
go.
do it together. All right.
Over hill and over dale, through the woods and down the trail. And you can hear that marching sound. So you can put some rhythm into your sentences and some rhyme to help elevate.
I think we need to do it one more time.
Yeah. Do it
What do
again?
you think?
All right,
Is everyone ready
marching.
out there?
Here we go.
All right, I've got
Get a
my...
good march.
James, have you got your marching and your clapping ready?
Ready?
Right, here we go.
Over hill and over dale, through the woods and down the trail. Yeah, I can feel that march.
You can really feel
Yeah.
that rhythm, isn't it great? Such a great way to also feel like you've got nice pace when you're writing in your story.
Yes, absolutely. You can go back and have a look in the book and you can look at that illustration and you'll see them marching down the trail. Have a little look and see if you can do that again as a class.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So now we're going to look at our bank of words that you wrote way back. It feels like ages ago already, doesn't it? We're going to have a look at that bank of words. And do you have your word bank there, James? We could bring yours up a bit as well. And we're going to start to think about some words that might maybe rhyme with the other words. I think everyone out there would know what a rhyming word is, isn't it? Maybe we can give them some examples, right? So here's one of my favourite. Wary, hairy.
That's great. Night
that
and fright.
Oh, they're good rhyming
And
words.
you know, when I rhyme, I do this massive big brainstorm like you're doing now, and then I get to be a detective because I have to search through that whole list and look for the words that rhyme. And when I find them, I will circle them, and the word I think rhymes with it, I'll circle that and I'll draw a line between them. And it's like being a detective. I love doing that, and I just search for those rhyming words everywhere.
Let's have a look at, we've got James's up there on the screen. I wonder if we can think of a rhyming word for one of the ones James has up there.
I found two here. Latch
latch.
and
Look at
scratch.
that.
Oh, well done. That's exactly what I do when I'm writing.
What else have we
What
got?
about dank and rank?
Oh, there you go,
Yes.
perfect. Because I like what James did just then too, because he found a word that he really liked and he thought of the rhyming word that he could link to that. So while James is adding a few more to his picture, I'm wondering if all of you out there in our wonderful Littlescribe land could start with your teacher's help coming up with some matching rhyming words for the ones you had in your word bank earlier on. And don't forget, teachers, you can pop them in the chat for us as well. And if anyone is writing them on the whiteboards, we might even try to have a bit of a zoom around in a moment and you could hold some of those up as well as looking what's in the chat. But we're going to keep trying to come up with a few more here for James. Maybe we can help him with a few.
We might. And you
Right.
know, Chris, they don't have to be scary too. So you can take
That's
a
right.
scary word like scream, I could see that on the list, and then you could come up with a word, you know, that rhymes with it that doesn't happen to be
Dream.
so scream and dream. So
Yeah.
dream doesn't necessarily have to be as scary, but we can have dream with scream.
That's a good idea. What are some of the other ones?
I got speak, meek, reek. They could all go with creek.
That's fantastic. You've got at least 2 or 3 pages
We've
of your
got
book
boom,
there.
could have zoom with boom,
Yeah.
room,
These are some great
whoosh
words.
and tush. You tush if you fall on your tush.
I felt a quiver in my tush.
I love it.
Raw, claw.
I wonder what you're coming up with out there. I bet there's some great ones that we can't even think of. We'll have to add some of theirs to our list.
We will.
Although James is starting to run out of room on these
Yeah,
wonderful, scary words.
I'm seeing
Huge bank.
so many coming up in
Oh.
the chat too. Dark and bark.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
Night fright, but also bite was added in there.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's good.
Grumpy and lumpy.
Oh, I like that.
That was from Italian bilingual school. Ciao, amici. Raw and door, red and bled.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
Very good.
And also stomps and chomps.
Nice.
I love all of these words. These are absolutely fantastic.
I can remember one from Scary Night. Cave and brave.
Oh, that's a great one.
Past the cool and rocky cave. Quiet now. Be bold. Be brave. That's how I used it.
And there's another really interesting thing that I actually learned when we were preparing for this session, which was really great, which are about half rhymes, which are words like pause and crawls. So they're similar,
Yeah,
but
part
they're
rhymes.
not
Yes.
exact. Can you
That-
maybe, how does that work in a story, Lesley?
I don't use them.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. I like,
we better
I
not.
like full rhymes and full rhymes, but yes, you can
I'm
do
getting
that.
in trouble for
but
using part rhymes.
I don't do that.
But when we're young and we're first starting out, we often go to part rhymes, don't we? Because we're still learning exactly how the rhyme
Yes.
works. So paws and crawls, they've still got the AU sound in them. It's just that crawls has got that L at the end. So it's not quite a full rhyme.
And sometimes you need to do that. But as an author, I would then go looking for something else.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which is you could potentially do, say, when you were drafting or reworking.
Yes.
Yeah, which
So
is fantastic.
With crawls, you could have hauls, and with paws, you could have roars or claws.
Yep. I love them. All right, I wonder if we could have a quick look around to see some of the work that you've been doing. So I'm sure there's some people, kids out there that have been writing as well. So in just a sec, we're going to do a bit of a zoom around, and maybe we've got a few from the chat. Now I'd love to see some of your lovely faces and what you have been creating out there. We're just waiting for that zoom to come up. And then we're just going to have one more little chat before, because I can't believe that we're getting close to the end already. But if we could get that zoom up, we'll have a bit of a look around when everyone has some boards up, or maybe not. We might, oh, there we are. Yeah. All right, so let's have a look what we've got. Looks like there's some amazing words.
There's so much being held up. Oh, look at this.
that. South Geelong. I love it. I can't, it's
There's a
bit
big
blurry.
list there and lots of pictures. I love it.
Looking fantastic. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that big blue monster.
Yes.
His
Oh,
bite
it's going,
is tight. Yeah.
amazing.
See, look, his bite is tight. I love it.
Crunch, munch, as I walked through the damp night, the leaves rustled on the trees. I could taste the scream.
Oh my gosh. And you know, that
Oh, there's
is,
more.
that is, oh,
In my sweat, as I could taste the scream in my sweat.
Oh my-
That's such an interesting idea.
and you know, that is absolutely fantastic. And you could even work on that to try to build some of those rhyming words afterwards. Fright, night, red day. Oh, I love that. Dark, spooky, scary.
Shocked. When I went to the graveyard, there was a scary boo there. There was a speak, reek, creak, dank, rank, drip, rip.
I wonder what that looks like.
Brilliant.
Crash, bash in the shed and it smells dead.
Oh,
Oh,
that
wow.
must be revolting.
That sounds like a rap.
Well, I really like that one because that's one of those ones where it's hidden. You don't know what it was.
Yes, that's
Abandoned
right.
roller coaster. Loud noises. Dank, scared, rank, stinky.
I love the word stinky.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's fantastic. No, I really love it. So thank you, everyone. Oh, we've got one more, and then we're going to keep going. Terror, horror, spike, dank, dark, tense. Arr! That's a great sound
It's like
word,
a
isn't it?
zombie down the bottom there.
Yes.
Wow.
So
Great.
what we're going to do now is we're going to take all of the different things we've done, and we're going to have a look at how you can pull them together into a book. Now, the big technical word for that is we're going to look a bit into visual literacy, but really we're putting the words and the pictures together, which is super, super exciting. Now, that's what happens in books like Scary Night, isn't it? But it's not just you draw a picture and you put the words anywhere. You've got to think about that a little bit. Now, we have an example from Scary Night that we're going to pull up. If we could get up the raw picture now.
Oh, I love this
Look
one.
at that.
Yeah.
So that's a wonderful, wonderful example of a combination between a really effective word and the illustration, and that tells so much. So what's going on here, Lesley? Just talk us through this picture and all the different things that we can see
They've
here.
just climbed up a mountainside and they've heard, the bear. And then we turn the page over and then you have the roar of the bear and we see the characters being absolutely terrified. Now, it wasn't my job to place the word there, and it wasn't the illustrator's job either. It was someone called the book designer. And it's a whole certain job to do this. So, and they've placed the word there. But there were some other words, some other pictures too, with this sort of, fantastic placement of words. And sometimes the words are tiny and they're in the corner. And sometimes they're big like this because we want you to hear the roar, how loud it is. So the word is as big as the noise that the bear is making. We have this huge raw word and the huge sound.
So, James, I'm going to put you on the spot here because you do a lot of this with your own books as well. You do a lot of words and pictures together. In fact, you do all of your own illustrations and the words. So could you just talk us through maybe with the picture you've got there, or you could do a different one for us, and just explain how you think about putting the words and the pictures together on the page?
For sure. Well, most of the time, if I'm going to do a drawing, I'm thinking about where the words are going to go when I'm doing the drawing. With this one, I wasn't thinking at all, so it kind of reduced my amount of possibilities. Really, the only place that I could put the words is kind of here next to the head. So that made it simple in a way. But if there was more text that needed to be on the page, then maybe I could have removed the clouds and put the text up here. But then also sometimes you want to have the text going in like a pattern as well. So if it was spooky words and things, then maybe we could have the words in sort of a spooky typeface and in a spooky sort of pattern next to the person. So there's lots of different things you can think about when you're putting text.
What about colour? Would you ever change the font colour?
I do sometimes, but normally it's only black or white. But, I mean, in certain cases I do change it if it's important.
Scary night we used some green in
nice.
there. We did change some of the... some of the colours in there as well, which I thought looked fabulous.
And then sometimes you don't have any words at all on a page.
Yes. So James, let's have a think. You had some sentences and some words on your word bank. Could we find one perhaps that would add to that picture that you've created? Because then in just a moment, everyone out there in Littlescribe land, we're going to get you to either use the picture that you did earlier and add one of those amazing sentences that you've written, or even a single word, if that's where you're at with your writing, onto that picture. Or you might come up with a new word that matches your picture, a bit like raw. You could be inspired by Lesley's picture. Or you might even want to draw a new picture. So you're going to have a few minutes to do this. So you might have come up with a whole new idea where you've got a new picture that you want to add your words to. Because as James was explaining before, you had... he likes to know what words he's going to put before he draws the picture. So you've got lots of different options from all the wonderful things we've created. So in just a moment, it's going to be your turn. But in fact, you could start right now if you like, because James is having a bit of a think about how he would do it. And we might help James come up with some ideas too. But you've got a few minutes now, so take your time with this. I'd really love to see you create almost like an entire little scary story on that page. As I said, you can use the same picture. You could draw a new picture if you've got a new idea. You can add one word. Your teachers perhaps could help you add some words to that page if you've got a really amazing, scary sentence you'd like to add using all of your senses. What could you see? What can you hear? What could you taste? What could you feel? What can you smell? Have I forgotten any?
No, I think so.
I think that's all of them.
There are 5 of them. You know what I was thinking, Chris? Like, James said he couldn't put the words where he wanted them because the picture has taken up the whole paper. And I thought maybe if you wanted to put it in a certain space where you've got clouds or something, perhaps you could take a separate piece of white paper, write it on it, and you could glue it on that.
That's what I'm doing.
Something like that.
I'm sort of figuring out where I could put it. But
Great minds.
I've got one. If you don't like silly jokes, cover your ears now, children. I heard a creak, I heard a whoosh, a ghostly moaning from my tush.
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic.
We're not sitting too close to him, thank goodness.
Wow, I bet there are some amazing drawings and words being put together happening right now. I have no doubt we've got some amazing creations, but you still have another couple of minutes, so keep working on it, keep thinking about your stories.
If you've used onomatopoeia and you've got that bang, crash, whoosh, they're the really great words to highlight and make larger and things in a text. They're a really great one to highlight.
Oh,
so I'd like to see the children do that. That'd be really good.
Well, that is an interesting thing, isn't it? The words don't all have to be the same size.
No.
As you were saying before, you could have a few little words, then one really big word next to it.
If you want to emphasise it. Like with raw, it was so huge on the page. But I know I didn't have any other text around it, but if I did, it'd have to be very small. And raw, so big.
One little example has just popped up in the chat from Merinda Hills, Year 1. One spooky day, trying to find a way, hunting through the bush, we heard a massive whoosh.
Maybe they can make whoosh big. I want to see whoosh in big writing.
That's true,
yes.
That's true.
And I'd love to see the picture that goes with that too. And how would you put the words on the page with the picture? So we're going to have a zoom around. We've got about 1 more minute, then we'd like to start seeing. And just remember, this is start. So after the session, you can keep working on these pictures. You can keep working on the words because there'll be lots of opportunities for you to share those as well. But you've got about 30 seconds and we get to see what you're creating. We're going to have a bit of a zoom around in just a moment. I can't wait to see what they've created.
It's a first draft, isn't it?
It is.
And then later, which is really important when you're writing, is to go back, pull out your work and have a look at it again. You know, I put work away for a month even, and then later on, pull it back out again and have a read of it. And then I can look with fresh eyes and I can come up with new ideas. It's a really great tactic to put your work away and then bring it back out again.
Wonderful. All right, I think everyone, it's time to have a look. I hope you've gotten, remember, we know it's only the first draft, we know it's only the start, but I would really love you all to share some of your work. Oh, one spooky day. Oh, trying to find a way. This is that wonderful, see, there you go with that big whoosh at the end. It's great, isn't it? All right, let's have a zoom around and see what all of you have created, these wonderful combinations of pictures and words. And if you've got just great words, that's amazing as well. You could always come away and do your pictures later. One night I woke up, oh, hold your board still.
And I got a fright.
I got a fright. Oh, it's moving. Got to hold your board.
Because I saw a shadow.
Hold it nice and still for us.
And it was
a zombie.
Oh my gosh, imagine that.
I ran and ran, but it was so dark. Then oh, it's gone. That's okay. Oh, it's zombie.
Did she have to fight the zombie? I think it says something like that.
Hold them up. Look at these amazing pictures. Look at that big word.
There's a graveyard scene there, and looked like a jack-o'-lantern as well.
It's a bit close to the camera. We
have
can't
to step back.
see it.
Help! It says.
Help! I love it. Oh, there's some amazing.
And a rocket ship. It looks like there.
And there's another graveyard.
Yes, R.I.P. Rest in peace. There was a dragon. Oh, there was a dragon in your house.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine what a dragon would do inside your house? What damage would there be? Lounges scorched, drapes up in flames.
Did you see the one that said, is that a dead person in the garden?
And just remember, these are all amazing. And remember your rhyming words too. So maybe when you come back and edit some of these, you could find what rhyming words go. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's scary. Oh, I can't read. Oh, roar.
Roar, dinosaur roars.
Another roar. Look, that dinosaur's roaring at a ghost.
And spiders scuttling away, snakes, and something scary in the bottom.
There it is.
Oh, is that
a dead person in my garden? Beg your pardon, Mrs. Farden. Is that a dead person in my garden?
Oh my goodness gracious. I think that's fantastic.
I heard a scream and had a
I think
drink?
that says dream.
Dream?
Dream.
Maybe it's a
dream.
rhyme. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh,
it is.
Hey.
Well done. We've got a rhyming sentence.
That's
There's
fantastic.
an arrow going through a heart in that
Oh my
drawing.
gosh.
Oh, goodness.
Look
Ooh.
at these amazing. Oh, look at the
I
wonderful.
see some Minecraft zombies
Yes.
They are so great.
and a beautiful cave.
These are all absolutely fantastic. Well done, everyone. What a great start. And remember, as we said, you can keep working on these. You could keep thinking about your scary words and the scary rhymes that go with the words and combining them with some amazing pictures. And you have done such an amazing job with that already. What an exciting session so far. James, I know you've got all those amazing drawings and things you've done there. Do you want to take us through a reminder of everything that we learned today?
Sure.
So the kids can keep working on it.
No problems.
My brain just went blank there.
Our wonderful author today, Lesley Gibbes. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
This is not the Batman logo, it is just a bat. So don't come at me, Warner Brothers. All right, spooky illustration from Scary Night. We talked about that wonderful illustration by Stephen Michael King, one of Australia's absolute best, an absolute legend. And Lesley's wonderful, well, you know, traumatic, but wonderful story of meeting an angry frilled-necked lizard in a tunnel as a child. What a great idea to use spooky memories that you've had. We talked about drawing a spooky illustration and some of the things we could include, and then we had a go, and this was my little spooky illustration.
Is that a sun or a moon?
It's supposed to be a moon. I couldn't make everything black because my black ran out.
Oh, no.
It could also be just a giant egg.
No, I like it just because it sort of has that, It just gives you that sense of, I don't know, like glow and
An icky yellowness.
yeah, like it's sort
Yeah.
of, you could have almost made it like a red moon.
Yeah.
too.
Could
Blood
have.
moon.
That's true. You can always change
Colours.
the colours.
Colours
You
are
can change the
great.
colours for sure.
Yeah.
We did lots of scary words, and then we came back and did rhymes, which is so handy to have a list of rhymes ready to go. Cave, brave, save, autoclave, lots of things.
I like, just James, back to that last one. I like
Yeah.
what you did there. So see, keep talking about how I love the word creak, but you've added ing on the end. So instead of just creak and squeak, you've taken the words and added ing, so it's creaking
Yeah.
and squeaking.
That wasn't from me. That was from the chat. That was
you-
some very clever
Oh,
kids who
fantastic.
suggested that one. Yeah.
I like it because it's kind of active, isn't it?
Yeah, and
It's sort
Boring,
you could do that with
boring.
stomping, chomping,
Yes.
yeah.
screaming, dreaming, booing, hooing. No, you can't do that one. But
You
the other
could.
booing works, but not hooing. Boo-hooing. Oh, now we're
Hooing,
getting-
hooing. I think
who
you could
knows?
do anything, really, if you want.
We talked about our 5 senses and how you can use those. What can you see, hear, feel, taste, smell? We talked about rhyme and rhythm, and we did some stomping and some clapping. It's really useful to get those bits of your rhyme really good. And then we looked at how we might do some text as well. And this was an example from our wonderful, wonderful little scribers out there.
One spooky day, trying to find a way, hunting through the bush, we heard a massive whoosh.
What do you think it was? What do you think it was?
I don't know.
Something
Who
big.
knows?
It was
Can
a
you-
massive whoosh.
Okay, those little scribers that wrote that, we want to know what it was.
A dinosaur?
You're going to have to write the rest of that book. A dinosaur, could be a dinosaur,
It's got to be something huge. It's a massive whoosh.
could be a flying dinosaur.
A big bat.
Whoosh. that flew
A
past you.
dragon.
Could be a dragon.
We've got one good example on the chat
No,
here.
what's the flying one?
Another rhyming one. It says, one dark night I got a fright, a bat with a hat. That can't be. I must not be able to see.
A bat with a hat.
A bat with a hat. I'm going to have to draw that one.
That's a name of a book, isn't it? A bat with a hat.
Yeah, it's like a spooky Dr. Seuss.
Look, I think that's wonderful, but little scribers, we're almost out of time. Can you believe it? How fast did that go? How amazing
Super fast.
is Lesley? So Lesley, have you got some final tips before we say goodbye? Just one very quick tip.
One quick tip would be to think of this as your first draft and please come back to it after lunch today and give it another go and look for those rhyming words. See if you can elevate those sentences by making changes and see if you can add in those rhyming words because it will really make your story super, super fun.
Amazing, thank you. Well, what a fabulous and inspiring workshop. But the fun doesn't stop here. We would love you to brainstorm in your class who you might like to share your writing with. Perhaps your favourite author or family. Then there are also lots of things you can do as a class to share your work as authors. Maybe you'd like to create a collaborative book. You could pull together just those sheets you've created today, one page from each student, or be inspired to elevate them and make them even better with more stories. And just remember today that you have created an amazing draft. And as Lesley said, you can now edit it in a few lessons or over a few days, so it's ready to be published and become an author, just like me, James, and the amazing Lesley. Now, the Littlescribe book creation tools teachers make it really simple and easy to publish and share your work. So everything you need to know is in the platform and ready for you to use. Now, we've got time for one question before we go, Lesley, because we've had some questions from our little scribers out there. This is one I get a lot as an author too. It's from St Clair's. I think it's Saskia sent this question. Thank you very much. Where do you find your inspiration for your books?
Right. Well, you heard from Scary Night it was a memory, and a lot do come from memories from when I was a child. So yeah, memories definitely.
That's fantastic. All right, now coming up next we have Jackie French creating historical characters, which is super exciting, and we're very happy to have had you all here today. So thank you for joining us for today's Author Masterclass. Now, we're going to do one last zoom around the country. Remember, hold up your signs with the name of your school, and if you can think of someone you'd like to read your work, you could put that up as well. Look at all of those wonderful faces, I should say, and those wonderful schools. I hope everyone had a great time. Give us a big wave and a cheer if you've had a good time today.
Oh, look at all those waves. Fantastic. and all of those papers with all the stories and illustrations. Fantastic.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Happy scribing. Bye.